All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to give it just a moment to allow people to log in, and then we will get started. And if you want, while we wait, I always love hearing where people are joining us from. Spencer, I didn't ask you where you're joining us from, but if you want to share, put it in the chat. It's always fun to see. And where are you from, Spencer?
Space. I'm in space. It's amazing. I'm actually in the Chicagoland area.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Where are
awesome.
you, Addison? I don't know.
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So
nice. Yep. I was speaking with somebody else there today.
Carmen's from here as well. The other LearnDash.
I don't recall. She's on the East Coast though, isn't she somewhere?
Yeah, she's in Atlanta as well.
Oh, she is in Atlanta. Like I missed what you said.
Probably several blocks from me. We've never met in person, but we always run out of time. But we have people from, let's see, Southern California, Richmond, Virginia, another Chicagoan.
Nice.
Chicago.
Puerto Aventuras.
We got someone from England.
Bienvenido, Abby.
Yeah, man, this is great. We have Germany, Vancouver Island. Awesome. That's a beautiful place.
I was just in Canada recently, in Toronto, not on the West Coast. I've been to Vancouver Island. I love it there too. But
Vancouver, Canada. Okay, awesome. This is great. Thank you guys. Durham, North Carolina. We got a lot of people from all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. Great. This is awesome. All right, so I guess we'll just go ahead and kick it off. My name is Addison. I'm with Liquid Web, or excuse me, I am with Liquid Web, more specifically LearnDash. Spencer, I guess we got off track, and now
we started talking about Stellar WP rebranding as Solid WP, and you didn't really necessarily know what I was saying, but now you understand. You are now solid. You are now Solid WP, Addison.
Yes, thank you. Although right now my brain is not too solid. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. Spencer is joining us. He is with WP Launchify. I want to make sure I got that right too. And he will be presenting today. I'll just be on the sidelines. If you have any questions, please open up the Q&A box and enter it in there, so that way we get all the questions in one location, and we can answer them at the very end of this webinar. We are recording this, so don't worry if you have to hop off or if you just want to rewatch it. You'll receive a link tomorrow. You'll get an email with a link to this recording and a link to the Q&A. So any questions that we don't answer, Spencer is going to be nice enough to answer those in the Q&A report, and we'll provide that tomorrow as well. So I'll let you go ahead and kick it off.
That sounds good. I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy to see you today, Addison, because Carmen, like myself, I'm a little throaty today because for the last 5 days had my weather has changed, spring cold, but I think I'm on the good side today. And I was also, joking aside, with Stellar WP, I was just on the Cadence Amplify event about a week or so ago, and it went really well. And I love working with all the team over there. In fact, one of the reasons that we're having this presentation is that 2023 is the year I feel like all of the brands under what is now Solid WP instead of Stellar, all of them are acting in a way of WordPress as a service. So one of the main points I'm going to give today is how you can skyrocket your course revenue by simplifying not only the way you interact with your customers, but also the stack of stuff you use. And today there'll be 7 ingredients, all of which are coming from similar sources, as you'll find out. So thank you very much for that. So I'm ready to go with the slides. Shall we jump in? And you've assured me that the slides are showing up. So I can't see the slides on the output, but I do see them here. And welcome, everybody. It's great to see you. My name is Spencer Forman. I'm an entrepreneur and a professional marketer, and I have actually spent more than a decade, probably 17 years here in the WordPress space, helping freelancers around the world learn how to better present themselves, offer their services and their products, and finding better product market fit. My expertise is as an entrepreneur. I've been one since I've been 10 years old. I've had professional licenses and experiences in everything from law, real estate, insurance, aviation, but I'm primarily a marketer and a human engineering person. I love finding pain points, solving them, and teaching other people what they can do about it, including making products. WordPress is my second iteration into the tech space. I started out in the SaaS world long ago before WordPress existed, and I found that WordPress offers that ownership and control promise that all of us now know so well. And I'm really excited because here we are almost 17 plus years later, we have the kind of things that offer a unique, singular opportunity for any of us who are either for our own business, like, for example, operating membership sites with content that you're selling, or who are acting as intermediaries, like an agency or a WordPress implementer. And even at the professional level, WordPress as a service is now the latest thing. We've got the engine and the tools on the back end that work with pretty much everything in the world to deliver the kind of stuff that used to be very complex and expensive to do. But the secret to all of this is the struggle. The struggle is where I'm talking to everybody today. And by the way, can you validate just for me? I'm on the struggle slide, am I?
No.
I am not. Okay. I am on the struggle slide now. See, I needed to do that. By the way, just for one last validation, I was on the slide about me a moment ago, was I not? Okay, good. All right. That's the last time I'll go check that. That's one of the things. We're using Zoom instead of StreamYard today, and this is the struggle on that level. Okay, so the struggle is basically how we can maximize revenue and satisfaction when we're building membership sites and selling content to students. Essentially, those two go hand in hand. It's really very rare that I found that anybody is actually offering coursework through LearnDash that they're not selling it. It's certainly the case you might give away free content, you might do lead magnets, but let's be honest, we're mostly talking about either a one-time access to a course or a recurring subscription. And so today the struggle is, how do you combine those two worlds of making the most possible revenue, because that's what you're typically in business for, or your customers and clients are, and offering greater satisfaction. And what are those things in terms of both sides of the table? How do they align? Okay, well, let's dive into it. Online students today in 2023, in a world where AI has started to go crazy, in a world where tools are unlimited, in a world where news moves faster than your heart rate, need four things. Because, well, I should say they have four things: short attention spans, a desire for fast results, a need for certification. In other words, give me that paper, I'm done with this university, and too many choices. And we're going to go through each of these and how you can adapt the stuff you offer through LearnDash, along with some of the other ingredients in the recipe, many of which come from, stellar WP, solid WP. It's going to take me a while to get it right. Okay. Number one, we need to make it easier for people. I know this sounds crazy, but in a world of automated tools, AI, infinite choices, people wanting instant satisfaction, we all revert to the infant stage. We're cute little babies, and we need somebody who is 2 steps ahead of us to spoon feed it to us. Even if you are a professional with years of experience and millions of dollars of success, you still want the concierge at the hotel to make your room up the way you want it. You still want the maitre d' at the restaurant to seat you at your favorite table. You still want your friends to tell you which movie to go to or what to do for your kids' college and so forth. That's the nature of being human and tribal. And so you have to adapt that in a world where, if everything else is moving quickly to a robot, what can you do for your people? You can be human and go back to the thing you've been doing since you're 10 years old, hanging out with your friends, which is chit chat with your friends, be a good pal, offer them the things that they want. And that's what we're going to talk about specifically. So these break down to 3 simple changes in the way that you're doing your LearnDash content, specifically for selling stuff. Number 1, you need to be using sales funnels to market and sell, versus what I'll talk about, like a typical Home Depot shop or a WooCommerce shop. Number 2, you need to have marketing automation. That's the way that you're able to track a specific person's individual journey through all your content and your sales funnels. And in doing so, you can deliver to them exactly what they want and need. But at the same time, you know specifically who they are, versus this kind of generic old-fashioned Google says some anonymous visitor number 1 came to your site. That's of no use to you, but marketing automation makes it possible. And 3, you need to modernize your stack of plugins and tools, which is actually another way of saying you need to just make less things, use less things in order to get a better result at the foundation of what you're doing. And I'm going to talk about those stack elements, the ingredients, if you will, in the recipe. Because when you do that with WordPress, you own and control your business. And by putting as many of those as possible, other than two things perhaps, in your own box, that is a WordPress box for yourself or your clients, you literally have nobody that can take your business away, like you might if you use some external third-party services, which is a conversation a lot of us have. Like, oh, wouldn't it be easier just to have my forum over on this blankety blank SaaS company? Well, it'd be easier, but then you're basically plugging your electrical cord into your neighbor's house and hoping they don't come home one day and unplug you. Okay. So let's start with the funnels. As to my point, the people want to be spoon-fed. Well, they want you to direct them. Do this, buy this, see this. This is where it is. You don't have to think too hard. I'm here for you. That's what you're going to be selling in 2023 and beyond. Because I've been using OpenAI, and I have to belabor the point a little and say, I can ask OpenAI anything I want, and it immediately has access to the entire universe of internet information. That is nothing you will ever be able to compete with ever again about. But what it can't do really well, and what people, especially in my generation, I'm 56. I know that's hard to believe. You're thinking 28. But at 56, I'm a Gen Xer. I came from the old world, and I've been in the transitional world. And in the new world, the people of my generation and above, I guarantee you, will pay you to be the concierge at their hotel, to be the maitre d' at their restaurant, to be the friend that tells them what, because we know we want human interaction, unlike some of my kids today that are just looking at a phone and have never seen a human being in real life. So direct people, and that is actually what you're going to be selling, not the information itself, because anybody will be able to get your information, whether you believe it or not. It's already here. So you eliminate frustration by giving people sales funnels versus doing something like shops. Let's use Home Depot as the metaphor. I spent 27 years building custom houses and buildings, and I would spend half a day in the Home Depot because there's 25 rows and they're all orange and they're 3 stories high. And I would go row to row. I would know where every single bolt and screw and nut was, but that required dozens and dozens of years of experience to know I needed these parts and where to find the parts. And even for me, it was a pain. I'd have to spend an hour, 2 hours. You know what would be better? If there's a magical way that I needed something for a project, and as I drove to the Home Depot, they anticipated I'm coming because they knew me, and a woman or a man in an orange vest came out to my car and said, we've already charged your credit card, and here's everything you need for the kit to fix your blankety blank. Let me just put it in your trunk. That's the thing that sales funnels do for your potential buyers versus, oh, here's my array of 47 LearnDash courses. Have fun reading this all day long, and you don't know what the hell it is you're looking at. That's like making them wander the aisles of Home Depot. So a sales funnel essentially does 3 things. It controls the journey of the user. It personalizes the offers because you're going to learn who these people are through the marketing automation and know what they like. And it makes it easier for them to buy more because, as we just talked about, you got to spoon feed these people because they're smart enough to know their time is the most valuable asset. And they just want you to tell me what to buy. Take my credit card, go do all this stuff for me, and I'll be happier. It's really true. What is marketing automation? Well, a lot of people overestimate what this means because there up till now have been a few big companies everybody's heard of in the old days. The Salesforce, the Infusionsoft, the HubSpot, and so forth. But now there's probably 57, 58 CRMs that are SaaS-based, and I'll define what a CRM is. And there's one specifically that is a plugin in WordPress. What a CRM does, it's a customer relationship management system. In WordPress, we have users, but WordPress, even with what I'm describing, is not set up to do the things that automations require in a customer relationship manager system. A CRM is essentially doing 2, maybe 3 main tasks. It's tracking those people who are users, but it's calling them contacts. It's allowing you to keep track of the things they see or click or buy so that you build a dossier, typically on their own actions, of those things they've chosen. And it also collects personal information in the form of custom metadata. Spence is from Chicago. Spence likes chocolate. Spence loves Cadence and LearnDash. Those things are now collected because my journey as a user through a certain set of plugins is stored in my CRM. Now, the magic of the CRM is, what does it do with it? It allows us to create conditional responses called automations that will do different things based upon the rules that I set up. If Spence clicked this and bought this, then give him this tag. And this tag lets him into the LearnDash course. Or this tag changes his website to yellow, whereas everybody else's is purple. If Spence says he doesn't like courses about horses and ponies, then we don't show him those courses. We show him the ones about puppy dogs. So automations are what allow us to both track a personal user's journey and keep it in a special tool called the CRM. And then the CRM can have automations we create that change the actual website or the course content. And we can even go into things like, we can track whether Spence has started a course, taken a lesson, gotten a certain score. And if he has done that, we can actually affect what he has offered. This particularly comes up with things like selling, because we don't need a membership plugin anymore. That's going to take a lot of you by surprise. I'm going to let y'all catch your breath while I have a sip of tea. Many of you coming from the old world of WordPress thought, well, and it was probably true, I need to have a horse pulling a wagon, which is a plugin that does membership, because there was nothing else that did that before. In the old days, there'd be plugins that are specifically designed to take money, give access to stuff, keep track of your subscription, open and close access to courses, and so forth. And there's dozens of these plugins still around. We don't need them anymore. Why? Because if we have the stack I'm going to share with you, you have something that already takes the money. Hint, it's WooCommerce. Subscriptions are already managed through WooCommerce subscriptions. We have a CRM that's allowing us to track somebody clicked this, saw this, bought this, subscribed to this, and we can use that to turn on and off enrollment or access to LearnDash courses. And we have a marketing automation system to communicate with people. What's left for a membership plugin to do but just get in the way and be redundant? So the horse and buggy have gone away, and we don't have gas cars anymore, which are those sort of like intermediary, does a little bit of membership, but not a lot, like restricting content. Instead, in the modern stack, we get rid of redundancy and we only use the tools that we need to get the job done, which means no membership plugin. So marketing automation gives us sort of three main benefits of tracking and controlling the journey. One, the CRM with a contact that every user has that matches their person has a single source of truth for you as the site owner or your customers, if you're doing this for, as an agency, of what's their business doing. You know now by name, face, location, IP, it collects all the data about every visitor and everything they do. Spencer Forman visited on March 28th and he saw this offer and clicked this button and bought this thing. And as such, my rule that I wrote says I should be sending him this email, or I should change the homepage offer to this. Second of all, like I'm kind of indicating, universal access control. We got rid of the membership plugin and now we put in tags to control it. A question came in. What is a CRM? A customer relationship management. It's an engine for tracking the journey of the user, but separately from what WordPress normally does. There's some SaaS ones and there's plugins. We'll talk about that a little more too. Finally, when you're using marketing automation, you can do gamification, certification, and all kinds of other stuff that I don't want to take any bread out of anybody's mouth, but that up till now required lots of add-ons for LearnDash. I'm pals with everybody who writes the code, and Justin Fairman left a great product to you guys. But we all know that Ryan at Uncanny and Wisdom Labs, and there's a whole list of companies that make lots and 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 lots of Band-Aids for all the features that, let's be honest, were just too much to put into LearnDash itself. Well, guess what? You don't need most of those anymore when you're using this metaphor. For example, certification. Some companies, and like I said, many users say, I'm an attorney, I need my certification that says I did my continuing legal education. Okay, there's several plugins that offer as an add-on better ways to offer certificates in LearnDash. You know what's easier? You just go to Canva and get a really pretty certificate picture. There's about 200,000 free ones. You put it into a page or a post or a custom post type. You add the dynamic name of the person, which is just a Gutenberg block. And then you use a tag. Spence completed lesson 10. He marked the course as complete. His score was fine. His tag is, he can now see the certificate with his name on it. Ta-da, done. And you just have a library of basically like blog posts or otherwise, pretty certificates that are all available to get, act as a sales magnet, like, oh, I wish I could get that one. And when you actually complete the necessary requirements, they become visible and printable as PDFs. That's one example of it. Same thing with gamification. There's lots of great plugins, including GamaPress, but you can simplify your whole thing by just saying, or you just, when somebody gets to lesson 4, ask, do they already have the tag of, have they posted a blog post or done this or whatever? And if they do, then this happens. And if they don't, then that happens. This universal tool of tags and tracking the user as a contact mean that you've got all the tools already in place at the base level to do like incredible recipes. It's like the best cooking set of all time. So let's talk about our recipe and the ingredients by the third tip today. You modernize your stack by simplifying your stack, ripping out all of those Frankenstein plugins and add-ons and things that in the past were necessary. But if you bought a Tesla today or an electric car, you don't need a gas engine in it. You don't need to feed it hay or pick up its poop because it's not a horse. You don't need the first and second generation plugins that you've been using forever when you move to this modern stack, because it's like buying a new electric car. The 7 ingredients that I recommend, and I'm being very, very prescriptive here because there's lots of choices that would be beyond the scope of today. I say don't bother with them, because the beauty of what Solid WP is doing, I had to look at the name again, is that under one stack, you have all of the major pieces, subject to a couple ones, for somebody to continue doing the magical modern WordPress business without going out and bringing in pieces from other places. So I recommend very highly Cadence Theme, Cadence Blocks, WooCommerce and WooCommerce subscriptions, LearnDash LMS, Launch Flows, which is a plugin I personally write that amplifies WooCommerce's behavior into a sales funnel instead of a shop. WP Fusion, which connects all of the plugins and the CRM together for marketing automation, and then a CRM of your choice. There's 57, 58 CRMs that are SaaS, like Salesforce, HubSpot, Infusionsoft, Drip, and so forth, ConvertKit, or you can use a plugin like Fluent CRM. Any of them work fine. I like Fluent CRM because that means it's one more piece in the box you own and control with no more things to subscribe to or own outside of your control. Cadence Theme acts as your underlying whiteboard that gives you a structural mechanics to put the business stuff on for sales funnels and your course content, the base features, the starter templates. I won't belabor the point, but anybody who's tried to build from scratch in 2023 is wasting your time. If you bought a phone today, it won't have a picture of me and my kids on it, but it'll look like this. Not like 10 years ago when there were 50 different types of phones and shapes and sizes, right? Trios and Blackberries and flip phones and Nokias. Everybody's agreed you just need a rectangle with a touch screen. Maybe there's 3 brands of them, but essentially you have one theme and its matching blocks as the framework on which all this other mechanics work. And let's stop talking about it. Like, if you want to be a tinkerer in WordPress, tinker. But if you're trying to build a LearnDash business, just use this stuff and you're done, okay? The blocks work with a theme as a team, allows you to build and save and reuse patterns. So these sales funnels and these customized checkout experiences, all this can be copied and reused. Again, like a TV dinner, again, like using an iPhone or an Android, you just put a new app on and drag it around. You're not making new phones from scratch. WooCommerce and WooCommerce subscriptions handle a lot of the things that would otherwise in the past required lots of extra plugins, lots of customizing, lots of functions. And it's the most universal combo in the entire WordPress ecosystem. I would venture to guess out of the installations, if everybody is not using WooCommerce at some level, they should be, because it saves you from having to use 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 other things for suggestions like automatically registering and logging in somebody when they're interested in your course or your content. Why? It's free. They won't see the back end with WooCommerce, but they'll get a really beautiful dashboard. And since WooCommerce works with everything under the sun, it gives you access to third-party tools and reporting, and almost like a Velcro allows you to attach things that otherwise would have been complicated, because WooCommerce just makes it easy. Even if you actually don't use it to take money, even in a free LearnDash setup, WooCommerce makes sense for automatically enrolling people and logging them in. And one of the big reasons why they should be logged in when they're actually at that point is because not only can they see the content instead of being open, to the public, but you can track their journey when you know this is specifically Spencer Forman logged in, not anonymous visitor 1234. Okay. So it enables those sales funnel capacities as well. LearnDash, I don't know, have any of you guys ever used LearnDash? No, I'm just kidding. I know where I'm at tonight. We're at the LearnDash event. LearnDash has a included with your package plugin, the WooCommerce connector. You must use this. This is not optional. Use it, because even though you could technically enroll somebody in a course singular with a tag, the plugin of allowing somebody who has bought or subscribed to a product to be enrolled in multiple courses gives us a multi-dimensional capacity, so that we can have a situation where these folks are able to pay for something once or on a monthly basis, whatever. And then when they stop paying, we can unenroll them, but we can still track their journey with the CRM and the tags. And this also allows us to integrate the experience of the person based upon which products they've bought, and therefore giving a much simpler dashboard. We're not going to have a LearnDash dashboard. We're not going to have like a separate, if you have social networking, BuddyPress or BuddyBoss dashboard and a separate WooCommerce. We're going to have one dashboard with a pretty page, very much like you've got in the starter templates of Cadence. It's going to give somebody one place to go for everything as a starting point and an ending point. Launch Flows is a plugin I write. I created it in 2019 because I was originally retained to solve some problems with cart flows, one of the first, or if not the first plugin in the space of making sales funnels for WooCommerce. But I didn't like the way their plugin worked. It was too heavy. It hijacked the process. And so from that standpoint, Launch Flows is a very lightweight accessory that modifies. Remember, I used the example of sending somebody to shop in the aisles of Home Depot versus having somebody come out with a vest and put stuff they want right in their trunk. That's what Launch Flows does. It makes WooCommerce act like a sales funnel machine instead of a Home Depot shopping center. It's light, it's fast, it's simple to set up, gives people what they want, and you can control their journey instead of having them do stuff that is old-fashioned, like here's a product array, and I go to the single product, and then I go to the cart, and from the cart to the checkout, and then after the checkout, I get a universal overlay of a thank you notice. Launch Flows is, here's a link that you can use in an Instagram post that sends a particular product or subscription right into a checkout, and when they buy it instantly with the saved card, they're given a custom thank you that says, you're enrolled in this course, start lesson 1. A big difference in the experience. WP Fusion is the USB cable that connects all of the plugins in your stack, plus the CRM, whether it be external or internal, so that you can replace the membership plugin. You now have the metaphor of seeing what people are doing, and if they have the right tag or tags, they're enrolled in courses, and you know they've been there, so you can follow up and make it more easy. Spoon feed them. What's next? What should I do now? Have I done enough? Did I get the thing I wanted? You know where they're at all times because WP Fusion connects all those parts together. Your favorite CRM, again, the big names of the SaaS stuff, Salesforce, HubSpot, Infusionsoft, Drip, ConvertKit, and so forth, MailChimp, those are fine, but I would say Fluent CRM is the one I recommend more often than not because it's an inexpensive plugin. If you get it on your own, it's between $90 and $120, or you get it in a relationship with me or someone else. The idea is that it is a plugin, so all of the same features you need out of a CRM to track that contact. Spence click this. He's from Chicago. He likes yellow. He likes chocolate. That data is stored in the CRM, and the CRM is where I make the rules about what automation should come from that data. This is what also helps to replace the membership plugin when you're selling access to courses or you're tracking somebody's journey through the courses. Whatever you do, the takeaway, keep it simple. It's just KISS, not KISS, because nobody here is stupid. KISS, because in the old days, people would build Frankenstein monsters on WordPress and still are. I have 128 plugins, and they were built by somebody I met once and I never saw again, that I don't know what they did, but now I can't change anything because they built something I don't understand. And if I change anything, my whole business goes away. Or you just use 7 Lego blocks that are all on their face obvious and each do one feature. And now you've got a bulletproof foundation for whatever you want to do because it's simpler. I help people by starting with the good old fashioned Gen X. Let's have a free call, shall we? I'm one of the few people in the WordPress world after 17 years that still does this. And I've successfully been able to keep my hair, raise 3 kids as a single dad, and enjoy my life and be on lots of webinars and podcasts. Why? Because people are very respectful when you give them the chance to tell you what they want and need, which is exactly my point. Somebody comes in on a free call from one of the software or other plugins on a referral. Could be even Cadence, could be LearnDash. Spence, it hurts when I go like this. And immediately, with my 17 years of experience being 2 steps ahead, I can go, oh, I've learned enough about what you're doing to say, maybe the entire way you've been thinking is wrong. And I'm just going to give you this new solution, a TV dinner. And this is true of any educational site. So many of my clients who have high ticket selling, they may have 7-figure, 8-figure companies. They figured out 1 or 2 things that people want. It could be dating advice, spiritual advice, photography instruction, how to do chiropractic. It doesn't matter. They have found the product market fit. And in their case, they're able to have a direct solution. I'm in the relationship business. So although I have lots of products, everything I do starts with a call, and then I point you to which of the things is a great match. One of the products that I have is using WordPress as a service. So in addition to the WP Launchify or having a free call with me, WP Launch Club is a free site that has lots of fun contemporary videos and other things. They also has these ready-to-use kits or workshops because I have already a bunch of iPhones ready to use for lots of businesses that have this stack built in and the ability to, for as little as $100, help somebody essentially get set up. So instead of you banging away for weeks, confused about what to do with my LearnDash setup or my membership site or whatever, I just go, or we take this LearnDash Stack TV dinner out, we put your name, logo, a couple things on there, and you're up and running in minutes. So this is how it works for me. And even if you just want to call to say hi and have questions from today, I welcome you to go to WP Launchify and click the free call button, or go to WP Launch Club, have a browse around. And otherwise, I wanted to say thanks to everybody for taking the time today, because I believe WordPress is in an evolutionary place. We finally, in 2023, reached the place where the tools are now mature enough that we can stop talking about that it's WordPress and start talking about its solution for yourself, for your clients, for your bigger business. And that's where I feel like the future lies. Very soon, we won't even be discussing the parts that you buy at Home Depot. It'll just be, what are those ready-made things you can buy when you pull your car up? Cheers on that.
Thank you. We do have a couple of questions. So would you like me to read them off, or do you have access to
I see
them?
Jim Sivich.
Okay.
I can actually, I think I can pull this off. I wonder if I can share the screen. The 7 elements in a demo account, I can show a quick example of launching like a model, because we do this all the time. I'll go to the other questions for, let's see if there's another question. There's a couple thank yous. Okay, so Debbie asks, hi, I have a Squarespace site, but I'm shopping for a platform to build my course. Can this be done without having a WordPress site? Well, sort of yes, sort of no. What I'm saying to you is, imagine the Lego store, imagine IKEA. If you go to one of those stores, if you bought a Lego block or got a Lego block, if you had kids who have Lego blocks, anything from 50 years plus ago will snap together with anything in that store. So you could go buy a couple Legos and snap them together, or you could buy a new kit and it'll work with your old stuff. Same thing with IKEA. Let's be honest. I got some IKEA stuff back there. Like, things in IKEA are so great because it doesn't matter when you buy it or where you buy it, it will work with everything else in that store historically. If you go off and use third-party stuff, I built a Squarespace or a Wix or a Weebly site. Now you want to do membership, or you want to have a platform. You're now trying to connect things that were never made to go to each other, with each other together. You've built a Frankenstein. Or you go, or I just copy paste my content into a kit that was already made for this and save myself the frustration. Also build yourself a bulletproof platform. You know, you need this foundation in order to get started faster. Okay, I think actually Kendra was answering some of those in the background. Hadassah asks, do you know how I could upload Articulate and Rise to synchronize with LearnDash? I do not know that answer. I will leave that to the LearnDash experts. I don't actually know what Articulate and Rise are in this context, so I apologize for that. I don't know if there's any, is there any other ones that I'm missing? Because otherwise I'm very happy to, I can do a quick show of what this looks like on the other screen. Let's see if I can pull this off. Hold on.
Yeah, so one person asked for the URLs, so I did share those, and
Okay, cool.
I'm posting this as Carmen. I'm using her account, so that's why.
Oh, that's you. Okay,
Carmen
good.
and
I thought
Addison
she was
are
feeling
one
better
person.
all of a sudden.
So we do have that question. So I shared both links, and then we had someone say, are the free CRMs any good?
Which, sorry, what was the question? What are the CRMs?
Are the free CRMs any good?
The free CRMs, you can actually start with Fluent CRM has a free option. It's not as powerful as you would need for all of the things, but it's enough for the basics. And it's at Fluent CRM. It's, I'll type it in here, I guess. fluentcrm.com. Also, I have a free demo that's one of several of these TV dinners. So what I can do is actually put a link in that people can just do on their own. So here's a link to a free LearnDash TV dinner model of a membership site. Now, this is one of several. It's using, I work with InstaWP. So Vikas and I were talking about this. This is the new way of doing things. It's fully functional. I think it run for 30 minutes. You can do front and back end. It's got everything set up, ready to go. So imagine, if you will, and let me see if I can actually, I'm going to try to share that. I'm going to try to launch an example of that. And maybe I can do that in the screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can switch my screen sharing to that. Addison, can you see where it's saying Launch Kit Pro Healthy Choice? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what happens is you click that button that I gave you guys, and it's on the front end, a very attractive, and let me scale this window because this is too small. There we go. It's a very attractive, you know, Cadence starter template that's got a shop of products. It also has 3 courses, subscription and singular purchase. But the basic idea is this is what a checkout experience in other ways might look like. Here on the front end, you might have a sales page or your home page that takes you to a product that's a course you can buy one time or not. Unlike traditional selling with LearnDash, where you use, no offense, but all the complicated built-in LearnDash selling tools, here we just avoid that. We just sell with WooCommerce, and we make a pretty page with a button that allows us directly to send the product to the checkout. And by the way, this buy now button doesn't even have to be on the website. This buy now button could be on a Facebook ad or an Instagram or a Twitter or a YouTube short, or it could be on a Canva pretty page, because the link itself is universal. It doesn't have to come from the page itself, like if you're selling with the built-in LearnDash tools. When it sends you to the checkout, you'll notice with launch flows and WooCommerce, this is now a very attractive, streamlined checkout page. And I've already got this demo set up with credit cards, so you can just literally check out. It does 3 things. It will register and log somebody in and take their money, give them the tags that they bought the particular product or products, and it will take them to a custom thank you page that I've assigned to this product that instructs them not only what they bought, but the course itself. It immediately lets them log into the course. For some reason on my demo, probably because I'm logged in as me, it's saying I've already done it. Let me just do it again here. And the basic idea, though, is that when they actually get in, they have a different experience than they might otherwise, because instead of being left to a nameless, faceless receipt or left with a mystery of what they got, they are able to see specifically, look, hey, Spence, I mean, I was launch kit, so that's why I said, hey, Spence, here's what you bought. And by the way, you could go to your dashboard, but you just bought this course. Why don't we just start you on lesson number 1? And here I am with the LearnDash lesson number 1 in progress. And if I mark it complete, I can go on to lesson 2, or I can go back to the course. And remember, I said simplify your setup. So This is not like the typical LearnDash stuff. This is just the LearnDash course minimal. And if I want to go to that universal dashboard, again, a Cadence starter dashboard, this is a billboard for selling more stuff because it shows me things that I could do, but it also uses this is the LearnDash widgets and stuff that I could have bought courses here, but now I bought them both and I can go back to them. So this is like marketing automation. And I can also see my WooCommerce details if I want to know what I paid for and how much I paid and what my subscriptions are. They're all in here. Peter Martin asks, does this mean I can obviate the need for a website to sell my courses? Technically, yes. The new way of doing things is this is an engine that you don't need to have as a website. What I often will do for people is I'll say, you can just use Canva or Facebook, and this is just the back-end deliverable. This is the private club where everybody goes to get their stuff, but you don't need this as a website. You can literally just market through making Canva pages or making Facebook posts. So absolutely. Let's talk about the back end though. The back end, this shows me who's doing what, when, where, and why, of course, because it's got the setup of, you guys know about LearnDash, but here I've got, for example, the Fluent CRM as my CRM, and I can see any of the people who have registered or got on board for free, paid for courses and so forth. Now, in this case, I haven't done anything because it's just me, but let's go to this account and I'll show you what would happen. When somebody buys something or registers for something, I will typically add them to the main list, and this will happen through the product. And depending on what product they bought, they would get a tag. That is essentially the dossier, the contact. And I can now sort and filter through any or all contacts based upon what tags they have or what values they have in their custom fields, just like I would in Infusionsoft or HubSpot or Salesforce. But what I could do, as I described, is in the products, I can make the application and removal of a tag automatic. So let's look at one of these things. I have a product here that I could use to sell a LearnDash subscription course. All I need to do is I go into the product in WooCommerce and I adjust a few features. Here on the product itself, I can say with launch flows, where's the custom checkout page? Where's the thank you page? With WP Fusion, I could say, what tag will somebody get if they subscribe? Well, I'm going to give them the purchase course 1 tag. And then I can also automatically remove that tag if they stop paying for the subscription. Ta-da! Now, remember I talked about inventory, and with LearnDash, if I wanted to, I can have the LearnDash connector that also would enroll somebody in the course directly here. Those things are easy to do, whether it's the tag or the auto enrollment. When I've done this, now when somebody buys or subscribes to this particular course, they'll get a tag, which will be like a gym membership. They will be able to access that for as long as they have the subscription active, but should they stop, it will simply be removed. Ta-da. And then finally, inside of the LearnDash courses or lessons or quizzes, I can also use the same metaphor of tags and so forth to track the behavior. So let's go over to LearnDash and look at a course, for example. I can look in, let's say, build your perfect diet plan. I can say, give a tag to somebody if they've started this course. Give a tag to somebody if they've completed this course. When they're on a lesson or a quiz, give them a tag. So for example, here, apply a tag when they've enrolled. And in this case, enrolled in diet plan. I just make a new tag, and now that will be in the CRM profile. So I can use that to say, hey, CRM, tell me all the people who are currently enrolled, right? If they wanted to have their course progress tracked, right? I can have a custom field on the profile that says, where are they? What percentage number are they through this course? So now in the CRM, I can have a rule. Send an email to everybody in the diet plan course who's at 50% or greater. You follow where I'm going. So I won't belabor the point, but you can play with this yourself and follow the instructions if you wish. The idea is that you no longer have to use a lot of accessories to track the behavior or to modify the experience for people. You can just use this metaphor of every little plug-in place. There could be some need to track what somebody's doing or to control what they see, can now be done with tags or custom fields. And then it's stored in one place where you're able to look at it as the administrator and see where is everybody at, what's their progress. And it just makes an incredibly powerful but simple way of doing things that will solve all those four main problems that people have today, which is give me what I want, tell me what I need, give me the certificate, let me on my way. And by the way, tell me if there's more stuff I can buy. And that's all I got to say about that. If you're still with me.
Yeah, people are still here.
There's
And
a couple of courses. Oh, sorry, there's one. Jens Bernard has a question. I want to use SureCart instead of WooCommerce. Yes and no. You bring up an interesting point. Let's talk about Adam Presser, one of the godfathers of recent WordPress WooCommerce. As I said, I got involved with him in Suje with cart flows. I won't speak for him, but he was obviously promoting WooCommerce and cart flows for a long time and still does. But at the same time, came up with his own branded, all work together stuff. Sure this, sure that, and so forth. And there's lots of great stuff there. The problem I can't reconcile is WooCommerce is ubiquitous with everything, and he wants to sell his own version of stuff. So I think what you have to do is choose, do you want to be in his stack of stuff, or do you want to be in the universal stack of stuff? Because I can't speak to what SureCart will do, but I can say that you could use cart flows in WooCommerce if you wanted to use cart flows instead of launch flows. Although obviously I'm biased there because I made launch flows because I felt cart flows wasn't doing a good job. Maybe he felt the same way, and that's why he went off and built his own custom solution outside of what he already started doing. I'll let him speak to that. In general, though, even if you just use WooCommerce out of the box without sales funnels, you could still use the marketing automation of a CRM and WP Fusion, which would make things incredibly good. Rosa asks, would this model work with WP Site, WooCommerce, LearnDash, and Zoho? I'm not sure what WP Site is, so forgive me on that. Zoho, CRM, LearnDash, WooCommerce, yes. I think maybe she left an A out. So yes, you can use this with a with a WordPress site if it had WooCommerce, LearnDash, and Zoho. Absolutely, but you're going to need WP Fusion to connect them, and you're probably going to want to consider a sales funnel plugin like Launch Flows. Of course, you know, that's like the recipe is like any other food. You can probably get away with pulling out a couple ingredients, but is it exactly the same if you leave the cheese off the top or you don't put the pasta sauce in? I don't know, maybe. I would say with the recipe, your cost of ownership is a few $100 a year, and you build something you can sell hopefully thousands and thousands of dollars of subscriptions on. I think there was the same question again with Tim, SureCart. But SureCart is supposedly faster than WooCommerce. That is a complete fairy tale, a fabrication, and a myth. I don't mind saying that is just Adam selling his own product. That is absolutely untrue. SureCart is not faster than WooCommerce. I'm sorry that somebody told you that, but I understand the problem in WordPress that I speak to all the time is that the environment is a flea market. There is no top-down direction of like selling one set of features. And so like a carnival or a flea market, everybody says, their snake oil is better. And to a certain extent, some things are, but a lot of times you get messages that are not necessarily factually true. I wonder if there's any other questions. Did I miss?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we've covered.
I encourage anybody to, first of all, I didn't mention it, but spencerforman.com is my hub. So I am prolific in the WordPress space across all social media. I put almost all my stuff at spencerforman.com because I have so many different things I'm involved with that are related to these same topics. I'm very happy to speak with anybody, discuss with anybody, tweet with anybody. So please just, you can hit me up there. There's a question from Tuan who asks, we currently use WooCommerce, LearnDash, and Infusionsoft. All I'm missing is launch flows. Yes. I would say if you are selling subscriptions, you might need WooCommerce subscriptions plugin. And I would say that you need a CRM there. And if you use a CRM, I would say you're going to want WP Fusion. So the recipe in that slide, which I'll share the deck, I mean, it's already in there, but like you'll share the deck as well, is that the recipe are 7 ingredients. The ones that matter are WooCommerce, WooCommerce subscriptions, a CRM, WP Fusion, and launch flows. The other ones, of course, LearnDash, Cadence blocks. Those are nice. So there's actually 8 ingredients, but it's kind of like 7 plus. Vladimir asks, hi, I'm from Brazil. Could you explain more about LearnDash and Adobe Captivate? with LRS. No, I cannot, because I don't know what that is. I know what Adobe Captivate is, but I don't know what LRS Gross Plate is. So that one is outside of my scope today.
I will try to, I found some information on that. You can use GrassBlade with LearnDash. It does integrate. And then from there, you should be able to use Adobe Captivate for your course content through GrassBlades. So
Yeah.
that's the link. And then let me share the LearnDash information on that. That's more of a LearnDash
Oh, okay.
a
No problem.
SCORM question.
I think it's still sharing my screen. So it's spencerforman.com. If you click over to, you can see the things I'm involved with, of course, on this topic. But if you go to latest content, you can also pick up, it'd be relevant to a lot of you folks, I think, if you go to the Cadence Amplify event, which was here, launch profitable membership sites in minutes with Cadence. That one was really on par with what we're talking about today, as well as lots of the other content. And I think that for many people, the best benefit is when you engage with me for free in a call at WP Launchify. In a very few minutes, I can hear what you're doing and recommend either a free or otherwise solution that will simplify immensely the pains that you go through. Because my experience in 17 years is that I only have two types of people I help. They've either created a Frankenstein monster where they mashed up a bunch of plugins and services that have no business going together, only to find the townspeople are hunting it down, or they have a shiny ball syndrome, which everything sounds amazing. So let's just use everything, all that. Let's switch to SureCart instead of WooCommerce or whatever. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm saying WooCommerce is something that should be core to WordPress at this point, because so many things use it. You should think very carefully about why you want to go off of, like, I've heard water is really thirst quenching. And there's 8 million other drinks, but like water is a really good starting point. So start with WooCommerce and actually try this, and you'll see that it's actually quite satisfying. But these two things are what I solve. And then either it's a free call and somebody gets a great answer, walks away. Some people engage with me for a minimal amount. It could be as little as $100, but I give them all the software. I give them all the things to get them started. And then, like a tuxedo rental, they've got everything they need to look gorgeous, act gorgeous. And then they go buy their licenses and they're happy as anything, right? I think we've covered this pretty well today. I feel very comfortable we've done that.
No, this was great. And we just had another question. So if you have a suggestion on a webinar you'd like us to do, tomorrow in that email, there's actually a survey that you can fill out. So definitely do that. I'll also recommend it, but having our customers actually tell us what they want is definitely more, it sways our marketing team more than me just saying it. So definitely do that.
And me as well, because one of the things that I promote quite frequently in today's world, I mentioned at the beginning, AI is exciting to me as a Gen Xer, because I realized that I've been through this before to a certain extent, not as dramatic, but when new tools come online, old ways of doing things, like Luddites, become threatened. And those that succeed are those that understand that it's never going to change the nature of human relationships. People are going to want people for other things if they can no longer, use them for manual tasks or mundane things. So all of this means that I'm really excited when people come to me with new problems, new solutions, new suggestions. And I feel like that's an inevitable consequence of my curiosity as an entrepreneur. I think, like, we're just getting started. The snow globe has been shaken up, and the idea of teaching people and doing coursework, much like somebody alluded to, is going to go into a new model of, like, WordPress as a service that's an engine on the back end, and just selling stuff automatically through different ways that just get people to the point of giving their credit card to a system that delivers the end result. And I think that's actually the most exciting thing of all.
Yeah, this was very great. Thank you so much. I know I learned a lot. I always like joining these webinars because I do learn a lot from you guys. So I appreciate it. If anyone has any questions outside of today's webinar, please do submit a support ticket, and we are happy to help you guys out. And remember, you will receive an email tomorrow with a link to rewatch this video. So I think that's it. So thank you all for joining, and have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.